What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs starting their training camp and of course the lines that have come out on Twitter, and people are already freaking out over the line pairings. Now, I would advise you guys to realize, and I'm saying this right off the bat, even though I could go into depth about this later on, which I probably will, but the Leafs have a very deep forward core that they added to this year with a lot of different types of players, even though people seem to think that the Leafs should never be adding forwards because they have too much already and they should be only focusing on the blue line. No, that's not the point. There's reasons why the Leafs have their lines like this, and it's literally to start scrimmages. Like, this isn't even how it's going to look in a game. We could be 20 minutes into the game, one period over, and these lines could be switched for the rest of the season. Stuff is going to get shuffled. This is not going to be a normal season. This is unorthodox. There's going to be a taxi squad where players are going to be coming in and out of the lineup. There's going to be changes. There's going to be injuries. Let's take a deep breath here and let the season play out, and let's at least get to a game before we freak out about line combinations. So before I start this, make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. There's a lot of people that watch the videos that aren't subscribed, so I'd appreciate it if you take the time and do that. But yeah, let's get into this. So this is from Myrtle, aka James Myrtle. You guys can see on Twitter, he usually is on top of a lot of things when it comes to the Leafs. So the Maple Leafs lines to start. So obviously right off the bat, it was in the thumbnail, it's in the title. Joe Thornton on the first line with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. This, I can guarantee you, is not going to be a full season thing. They are playing a shortened season, so keep that in mind. Also, Joe Thornton, out of all of these players, is probably the most fresh, which is crazy because he's been playing overseas. He's been playing hockey already, so he's very fresh. So he might have more of his legs at 41 years old than some of these, mid-20 guys. So Joe Thornton on the first line with Matthews and Marner. Joe Thornton is an elite playmaker. This is one of the best pure passers in NHL history. I don't think we have to explain too much about that, but Joe Thornton is incredible. I don't believe he's going to be a first-line guy all the time. They're going to swap guys in and out of that first line. There's going to be, guys moving up, moving down, certain situations. You might see Zach Hyman there. You might see maybe Jimmy Vesey there. Maybe you'll see Tavares or Nylander up there. They're going to shuffle it around, I'm sure. But, man, if Joe Thornton is feeding Matthews and Marner, this could be a very good line, and this is the reason why the Leafs' depth works, because then you go to the second line. You have John Tavares and William Nylander. Of course, they played very well together last season at points. And then Jimmy Vesey, a new addition. Now, I need to let people know about Jimmy Vesey. I think some people don't really look at the numbers, and some people get upset about certain players not playing in that second line. And there's two players that people are upset that aren't in that position, which, man, if Jimmy Vesey doesn't play that good, there's 3 options or 4 options that could slide into that second line. So those options are Ilya Mikheyev, who played with Tavares and Nylander quite a bit last year. You have Zach Hyman, who's always been in the Leafs' top 6 basically since he got to the NHL. You have guys like Robertson that could go up there and play for a little bit. Maybe Pierre Engvall if they want to give him a look. Maybe they want to give Joey Anderson a look. I don't know. But the Leafs have so many different options that it doesn't matter. But let me just tell you, Jimmy Vesey can play the game of hockey and he can score. So this is what I want to move over to real quick. And I brought this up before in a video where the Leafs signed Jimmy Vesey. Jimmy Vesey is on a very cheap contract. I believe he's under $800K or something like that. This season, the 1920 season, this past shortened year, he had 20 points in 64 games played on a really bad Buffalo team. Let me just tell you, if you look at these numbers, this season is the outlier. This was his worst season. The previous 3 seasons, he had 17 goals in back-to-back years and then 16 in his first NHL season. This is not bad. And playing with 2 really, really talented elite hockey players in Tavares and Nylander, he could put up probably another 12 to 15 goals because, of course, we're going to be in a shortened season. But I wouldn't be surprised to see, these types of numbers in a shortened season. You could see maybe 20 to 25 points in 50-plus games, which wouldn't be too bad. But this is what people are complaining about. Guys, Ilya Mikheyev, I know he played in only 39 games played, and he was playing good to start the year. But I'm not going to look at just 39 games in an entire career and then write off Jimmy Vesey for Ilya Mikheyev. I love Mikheyev. I think he's great. I'm glad that they were able to keep him and sign him. But I'm not just gonna act like Mikheyev is some sort of vet that deserves that second line spot. It's that's not the case whatsoever. I like Mikheyev more than Vesey, but at the same time, Vesey has proven that he can score over 3 seasons, not 39 games. So let's keep that into account here, okay? Zach Hyman, people are really, really upset about him on the third line. Let me just tell you, Mikheyev, Kerfoot, and Hyman as a third line is going to create a lot of problems for people. And if Hyman moves up, again, this is where the line shuffling can come in. And I'll talk about the fourth line in a second, but maybe you want to move Hyman to that second line and you drop Vesey to the fourth, and then you could put Simmons there, or you could put Vesey on that third line. They have guys that they can move around, and they have guys that can be straight up assholes in the game, really, and that's what you need. You could have Engvall in that position as well. This is why I keep stressing about forward depth. The Leafs do not have to go with this lineup. They have so many different options. They have so many different players. They can load up on guys that can check, like Engvall. People need to give him a little bit more credit. He had a really bad middle of the season, but the way he started it and finished it, Engvall was one of the Leafs' best forwards in that series against Columbus. Did he score a lot? No, but he did everything else. And the Leafs need more guys like that. They need guys that can go in there and do different things instead of just scoring. Engvall is not afraid to hit. He gets, a little rough sometimes. That's the importance of guys like that. So Robertson is a huge, huge piece here because he could easily take a spot, but the Leafs are not gifting him a spot in this lineup. They're telling him that you have to make this team. If you want to knock out a Vesey, if you want to knock out a Barabanov, which he's going to get playing time. Barabanov is from the KHL. Him and Lehtinen, however you want to pronounce it, will get a shot to play on this team before getting knocked out of the lineup. They signed here out of the KHL. They will get their minutes. I've been saying this for the whole time. Wayne Simmons, Spezza, you're probably going to be able to get some games out of them and then swap them out with guys like Robertson and Engvall and even an Anderson. These lines here to me are fine. I really, really like that third line. I like the idea of having a very, very good playmaker in Joe Thornton with 2 elite hockey players in Matthews and Marner. I like the Leafs giving Jimmy Vesey a chance to play with 2 really, really talented hockey players in Tavares and Nylander. I love that third line defensive checking line. Mikheyev, Kerfoot, Hyman is going to create a lot of problems on the forecheck for a lot of teams. Kerfoot, again, I keep stressing to Leaf fans, please, I'm begging you, out of any player this year, let Kerfoot show what he's about. We didn't get to see it. He was injured pretty much the whole season last year. Even when he was playing hurt. If you give Kerfoot a chance, he is going to impress you. He's a great defensive third-line centerman. He's fast. He can forecheck. This guy is going to be much better this season. He's going to impress a lot of people, and I would be excited for that third line. Mikheyev is a big guy, can hit. Kerfoot, great forechecker. Same thing with Mikheyev. Great defensively. Hyman, again, he does it all. He can hit. He's not afraid to scrap a little bit. He can score. The guy could have scored 30 goals last year. He does everything. Hyman is one of those guys that you want on your team. That third line could be a problem. And like I said, you add a Simmons there if you want to move Hyman up. They have so many options. I want Leaf fans to just take a deep breath. This is not going to be how the lineup looks the whole year. And if it is, it means the Leafs are doing something right. If the lines stay like this and it works, there's no reason to complain. I think Leaf fans they'll pick anything that they can to complain about. They try to drive people out of town before they even, fully play. It's just a thing you do here. I know that a lot of Leaf fans are passionate, but there's also a very big group of Leaf fans that no matter what the team does, they're going to complain about it because that's the fun thing to do. This is why people label us as the worst fan base in hockey. Because there's too many fans that nitpick about everything. And I hate that because I'm a Leaf fan. I love Leaf fans. They're passionate. They love the team. But please, let's try to take the negativity out of a tweet about line combinations, okay? Let's take this and think, okay, this is good because I don't know why people are so mad. I think that the makeup of this team looks more like a better built playoff team rather than a team that has no depth and no checking, no defensive third line. People loved when the Leafs had the Kulemin, Grabovski, and MacArthur line, right? Because they did a bit of everything. I'm not saying that this third line is going to be like that, but it's more towards that style of play. They can score, they can do things, but they're relentless on the forecheck. They're not afraid to get into the corners. They're not afraid to hit people. Like, people forget how many big hits Kulemin had. People forget how good of a hockey player MacArthur was and Grabovski. Like, these guys did not care. Grabovski almost got knocked out by Zdeno Chara twice in one game and scored a winning goal. Like, this is the Leafs need a line like this. That's perfect. That reminds me of that line. Will it be as good? Probably not, but it's going to be pretty damn close. And I know people are going to think that's a hot take, but I love that line. That's a great line. Wayne Simmons, Spezza, Barabanov, Robertson, Engvall, Boyd, Anderson, all these guys are probably going to split their time. But again, this lineup looks different. It's different from what we've seen before. They're trying things out. They're going to have to try things out for a few games because it's a shortened season, and then go with it. And if this works, like I said, then we're laughing. That means that this team is good. So if you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Join the squad. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for watching. And let's stay positive about this team. Peace.